I'm Bharath from Chennai. Whenever I start my keynotes presentations, especially while in Bangalore, I talk about CSK and IPL. This time the joke's on me, so I'll refrain from doing that. But I'll tell something that I really mean. To see the auditorium full at 8:30, I had tears in my eyes. The level of commitment that you have, I'll repay the commitment by spending the next 14 minutes and 30 seconds by doing something that is value adding to you. We'll get started with that. My uh, my session is just two major things. I am aware that Zoho is not as popular or as well known as some of the large brands out there. So I'll just spend 2-3 minutes on who Zoho is, not marketing fluff, but just to tell you who is this guy and why is this guy speaking these things to put in some context. So the first 2-3 minutes and the next 10 minutes on what have we learned as a technology service provider after giving the context of who we are. What have we learned over time? So that's all I'm going to talk about. If time permits, I'll just show you one quick application demo, but let's see where we go. About Zoho, just show of hands, how many of you have heard of Zoho? Okay, nice. Thank you so much. Almost 80%. The number keeps increasing. Thanks for that. This is the marketing fluff slide. Been here for so many years, 100 million customers, 1 billion in revenue. I'll skip that. I'll come to the engineering part of it. Let's play this game. The slide here has 2 truths and 1 lie. Let's see if you can identify which one is a lie. Zoho is a technology company, it's a software company, it runs 60 plus applications. Zoho runs its own data centers. Statement number 1. Zoho, false, okay. Zoho has its own browser. Statement number 2. Zoho has launched a OS for laptops. Statement number 3. So, how many of you think 1 is false? Okay, how many think 2 is false? Okay, 30%. How many of you think 3 is wrong? Okay, intelligent Bangalore audience, 3 is wrong. Zoho runs its own data centers. For a technology company, for a product-based company, running its own data centers across the globe in 14 different places. Again, I'm just putting this clearly from an engineering point of view that the level of investment that we do, we are not just selling products on top of some other cloud hosting service provider. We want to understand or we want to be completely in charge of everything that will impact our user experience, right from a data center or a browser, anything that impacts a user's experience. When they come to us, we don't want to tell them that, hey, it works in my laptop, or hey, this is a problem with your cloud hosting service provider, go talk to them. We want to be in complete control of everything that will impact our user experience. What that has meant is, we have invested a lot in R&D. We are a deeply product engineering focused organization. The only lie is OS, but next year maybe it won't be a lie because we are also working on something called Surya OS, which is going to be our own OS for laptops. So that's the scope of what we are playing. This is still work in progress, but next year we should have it. Now, with this context, a company that's been here for so many years, deep investment in technology, right from data center, browser, and everything included, including a WhatsApp equivalent called Aratai that is work in progress. What have we learned engineering-wise and predominantly AI aspect? What are some of the learnings that we got over time? We will split this into 2. Even us as a technology company, we will categorize this learning into 2, AD and BC. In our language, we call it, there was a big CapEx era where there was a lot of focus on how many GPUs, what's your processing capability, how many billion parameters. That was one side. Then is the AD era after DeepSeek. One fine day when DeepSeek announced that this is what I am doing from my garage, the whole world started looking at AI in a very different point of view. So I'll start from there. One of our important learnings is, it is not just going to be big tech that will own AI. AI will be obviously driven by a lot by the big tech organizations because it needed a lot of investment. This is 3-month-old data, more than 250 billion in AI infrastructure investments. But what we are realizing is, everybody will have their own AI play. Or if you have to slightly put it in a different context from a business point of view, there is no excuse for anybody, be it a startup, SMB, large organization, be it a developer, a marketer, a legal professional. There is no excuse for anybody now to say that I didn't have the right tools to do it. There are tools at your disposal. Predominantly, it would be coming from the stables of large organizations, but you will see a lot of other players, a long tail of different service providers, different product organizations that will help organizations adopt AI. So it's not just going to be big tech. You will see a lot of organizations. The most important game changer is reasoning is now available for all. So, like how Venkat touched upon in the morning session, the first session, it is not just getting the answer, it is understanding where the answer comes from. Then deciding whether this is right for me or not. Should I consider it or not? That is an important game changer from an AI point of view. AI features will be table stakes. In whatever product that you use, it could be a CRM, it could be a PowerPoint maker that you have, any tool that you use, AI features will start to become table stakes and will not be differentiators. We are seeing this as technology service providers, that some of the things that we talk about with enterprises now are not features. What are we talking? I'll touch upon them as I go. If I step back and understand where is AI actually helping anybody, it is coming down to two major things. One, it is speed or it is quality. And if things go well, both. And when I say speed, I'm not talking about developer productivity and that the pace of development. But for any user, let's say I'll take a non-technical user also. Let's say I take a marketer. A marketer wants to write something. AI is helping that person write better, write faster, gives the first level of content that helps them create something, ideate, discuss, throw ideas and evaluate whether my thought process is correct or not, and then come up with a rough draft. So the speed of going to a prototype, I would put it like that, has increased tremendously after AI. So that's the first step, the speed. Second is quality. Yes, I'm a marketer. Let's say I'm creating some content, but is it the best possible content? Is it relevant to my audience? How do I ensure that AI tells me that it is relevant to my audience? Let's say from the language point of view, from the flow point of view, from the examples point of view, from bringing diverse perspectives point of view, AI will help. So we are, from a technology service provider point of view also, what we are thinking of is whenever we introduce any capability, anything to do with AI in our products, we are thinking what is the end benefit for the user? It is not just having AI as a tick mark anymore, but is it improving my user's pace at which he can get things done? Or is it improving my user's quality of work, even quality of life? Can she finish this easier, faster, so that she can focus on other things that demands her attention? So that's the approach we are taking when we roll out features as a service provider. This is the most important learning for us. Value is in context. A previous speaker nicely touched upon this point, where what is possible with AI is anyway becoming standard across different tools. How am I applying this in my context is going to differentiate a winner versus someone who is just going to perform in an average way. And from a learning point of view also, I'm sure like in malls, in a lot of public places, we see nowadays that there is a parking slot. You are supposed to park there. You will pay for the parking, but there will be a board that says parking at owner's risk. I'm like, bro, I'm paying you money and you're still saying parking at owner's risk, which is what AI is also doing. I will give you all of these things. Venkat again touched upon some of nice examples, including the airline examples in the morning, where I am using your service, but you're telling me that I'm not reliable. Then what happens is, where do I apply it? Where is the context for me to use this? How much deeply, widely am I going to apply this is in the hands of the user like us. So again, that is where the context is going to become very important. There'll be multiple tools for anything. Like now, my thought experiment is whenever, let's say, for these slide decks, I was just figuring out, is there a AI way of doing these things better? I asked one AI tool, what is the best other AI alternative options that are available? And it suggested something called a napkin.ai, which is so beautiful. It took me 5 minutes to understand. I put 5 lines and it converted it as a nice infographic and shared it back with me. So tools, capabilities will be available. Our intelligence, our awareness of the context is going to become much more important. When this is happening, customers are not going to pay a huge sum for AI, which is the ground reality. customers are willing to pay for AI. There is no doubt about it. But when the initial hype was happening, when maybe last year when we were talking, there was so much hype and expectation around, is AI going to replace developers? Is AI going to replace humans and all that? That time, the level of the willingness to pay or how deep I'm going to invest purely from a customer point of view for tech organizations, tech capabilities was very different. Now it is plateaued. It is more realistic. Okay, what is the value I am getting from this? Why should I invest in this tool at a certain cost? The benefits are, yes, speed and quality, but how much should I pay to get the speed and quality? Is this incremental addition in my cost worth the incremental benefit that I'm getting either from speed or quality? Is the conversations that we are seeing. In that context, what we are also learning is right sizing the models. We don't need to have large models for every need. Zoho, we offer our own LLMs for our user needs. So in a lot of our applications, you will see that you can either bring your own key and integrate with, let's say, an OpenAI and get things done, or you can use Zoho's own AI for certain operations. But what we have learned is over time to reduce the cost, to make it specific, and also there is the sustainability angle. How can we right size the models? Do we need LLMs for every need? For example, if there is a vendor specific invoice, I know there is a certain pattern, this vendor is going to send me invoice a certain way every time. I can live with a simple machine learning model, understand the template, figure out the exceptions, and throw error to the user whenever required. For certain use cases, let's say there are receipts for different types. Let's say an employee submits receipts for different expenses. Could be travel, could be food, could be some gift for the client, etc. So that is slightly evolved. You don't need a large language model, but models with basic levels, even a 3-4 billion parameter models should be able to satisfy those expectations or those needs. Large language models are also needed, but for specific use cases. If you want to go through, let's say, a contract, let's say you run an organization which has hundreds, thousands of contracts, and you want your AI system to go through that and tell you that, hey, these are some clauses that you should be aware of. These are some negotiation timelines that are coming up in the next 2 months. These are some exceptions that are redlined that you should be aware of, etc. So there maybe you would need large language models. Obviously, when from a developer point of view, the tools that we use for development, that is a whole different game. But from our learning, right sizing the model is helping the users, is helping us as well. From enterprise point of view, what we have learned is conversations are all centered around privacy, trust, and compliance. When we talk about AI capabilities, when we say that, hey, our CRM can do this, it can tell you the right time to contact, it can figure out that email for you, etc. The question that is coming back is not on how can I write this email better? Because I think the users are starting to sort of put the thought process that AI will give me a prototype. It can be content, it can be code, it can be anything that I'm asking from AI. Still, we are in a stage where I have to manually verify, which is definitely a reduction in productivity because you're introducing a manual angle there. But the question is again on how secure is your environment? Can I trust your service? Will my data be safe? What are the complaints protocols that you have? There was one user who, when in a conversation recently, asked me, how do you delete the data that you trained in your LLM? I didn't have a specific answer to that. So the types of questions that we are getting are all not on the features and capabilities, but more on privacy, trust, and complaints. And again, as developers, I think this and the context part is what I would take away. That yes, I will understand AI, I will deploy AI, I will use AI, but I will put it in the right context for my user. I will keep the compliance trust angle at the top so that the users get the confidence to adopt this more and more. I'll quickly skip through this. So one of the applications that I wanted to show was one of our low-code platforms called Zoho Creator. So Zoho offers 60 applications and all. This is an application which is a low-code platform to build applications where through AI, we are able to generate applications for users. I'll leave the presentation with you where you can look at it, where you can prompt the system, or you can even upload your BRD, or you can upload your flowchart, or you can upload your handwriting notes, and you will see the system generate applications for you. And abstraction is the value add, where you are not worried about where is this hosted, or how do I get it on mobile, what are the privacy security policies, etc. Because all of that is taken care by the low code platform, while the application development process, the code generation process happens through AI. And when both of this is married, it's a superpower for the users. I'll skip this demo, but I'll finish with this final takeaway. What interesting aspect that is happening now is we have seen multiple industries being impacted, like how I am impacted with this timeout sign now because of technology. And what is interesting is, let's say in manufacturing, let's say in weaving, in traditional weaving, etc., someone external came and disrupted the system. Suddenly there was industrialization, there was machines that are disrupting the system. We software developers are so good that we are disrupting our own life through AI, right? Now, as Venkat put it, that's what the summary I had as well. If we are able to understand the context, if we can add value more, we can use this as an advantage for ourselves and stay ahead of the curve. That's my humble submission. Thanks for your time.